This is the biggest podium ever. Can't even see. All right. The attendance was 6,143. The gate was 415,000. The fight of the night, take a guess. Brown, Silva. Congratulations. They both won $50,000 and deserve it. Performance of the night were Eduardo and Brown. So Brown wins $100,000 tonight. Good for him. Yep. Oh, Mrs. Brown in the front row. Yeah. Congratulations, you guys. Congrats. He'll be here in a minute. Eric Silva is on his way to the hospital. He is one tough dude. Elbows, knees, punches. He took everything tonight, and very tough guy. Who's got the first one? Go ahead.
So, obviously, can you sum up some of that? I mean, you looked down at us, right after the fight, and we saw what you said.
That was sick. It was just, all week long, I've been talking about the last three fights. Crookshank, my man, and obviously the main event. Those are the three fights that I was talking about. But, I mean, the prelims tonight were awesome. The prelims were unbelievable. This card delivered in every way, shape, and form. And as far as Matt Brown goes, I think a lot of people in this town, it's like Rich Franklin's town. You know what I mean? And it's Matt Brown's town now. I mean, I think he became a huge fan of Cincinnati tonight.
So I know, obviously...
A huge star, I mean, not a big fan, but you know what I mean.
You've told us a million times you're not going to match make right after a fight, but he shied away from saying what might happen for him if he got to 7 in a row.
I just had to go back and do a Fox interview, and he was back there. He sounds like you guys right now, okay? What's my next fight? I said, you sound like the media. Calm down. Let me go home, and we'll figure it out. But there's no doubt. First of all, Matt Brown should have been in that position already. He hurt his back with that Condit fight. That was the fight that was going to get him where he wanted to be. But this fight definitely puts him in a spot now where we'll give him one of those top contenders.
Do you remember a guy having seven wins in a row in any division, not being a champion or not getting a title shot?
Yeah, and this kid, but that's a nasty division right now.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, with the departure of George St. Pierre, that division has become unbelievable. It's like the Wild Wild West in that division right now. Tons of tough guys, all scrapping to get the next shot at the title. Johnny's bicep is torn. We're waiting for that to heal. Matt fell out of Matt was right in the fight that would have got him there. That Condit fight would have got him there. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. And every time this kid fights on television, he's a rock star, absolute rock star.
And then you mentioned obviously about Silva, how tough he is and all that. He still hasn't been able to put anything together in terms of wins, and yet he's hyped up. He was a 2-1 favorite in this fight. What happens for a kid like him now? And we saw obviously.
And you know what's
he got
crazy?
taken out of here too.
I've been following that the whole time. A little bit of a degenerate. I like gambling a little bit, so I watch these things. The Brown fight all night tonight was going up and down. The odds were going up and down all night. It was a lot of action on that fight. Very curious to see how that turned out for some people, but there was a lot of action on Brown late, and that thing dropped.
Obviously, we saw him get taken out of here. He was down for a long time. Do you have any update on the nature of what everything was for him, being taken out on a stretcher or just getting hit in the head a million times?
They're taking him in for a possible concussion and fractured jaw. Okay. How tough is he? The shots that he took tonight were unbelievable. Yeah.
Mr. Philippou, obviously, huge win for you. You needing to come back off of, the 2 losses in a row. Can you just take us through a little bit, how that played out for you and kind of where your head is at now after that one?
Now it's all fun and games, but it was a very stressful period for the past 6-7 months. I reached a point that I was doubting myself. I was doubting if I still wanted to fight, but I just want to thank Dana and the UFC for showing faith and gave me the co-main event, and I'm still standing, and I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you.
Question for Costas. You said in the ring, in the cage, that you were contemplating not fighting again until you got the call. Now that, obviously, the last fight was January. How close were you? Like, how contemplative were you about not fighting again?
Did you watch my last fight? Do you blame me? 2 fights ago, I spent 12 out of 15 minutes laying on my back, and it was an awful experience. for myself and the fans, and I was embarrassed. And I came back, and my last fight was even worse. I got knocked out for the first time in my life. So I started doubting the fact that I can even keep doing what I was doing. I didn't know if I still had it in me, but my coaches stuck by my side. They basically told me to put my big boy pants and go fight. And I put the work. They helped me out, and it worked.
Getting a win in any way was going to be good, but how was it to get a knockout win the way you did?
I can't describe it. Only fighters know how I feel right now, especially coming off back-to-back losses. And definitely, and I wouldn't blame him, losing this fight, he was going to fire me and send me home. And nobody can blame him because I showed nothing the last two fights. But winning the way I won, I'm on top of the world right now.
And since Matt arrived, I'll get the first question in for him. Matt, obviously, unbelievable performance, fight of the year, I think most people would say. Walking away from a fight like that, I mean, what do you have to say about Eric Silva, considering the shots he took and just the toughness of him sticking in there?
I can't say nothing but good things about him, man. That was pretty amazing performance on his part, too. You know, at least in terms of being able to catch me cold and put me down and then be able to withstand more punishment than anybody else has ever withstood from me before. So.
And obviously after the fight, you made your declaration pretty clear. You won a title shot. With that kind of performance on this kind of stage and hearing the crowd the way it was, I mean, do you feel like a fight with you and Johnny Hendricks, beyond the fact that maybe it makes sense rankings-wise and with your streak, but also just for the excitement of it, what you just did, do you feel like that should put you in that position?
I hope so, but let me make it clear. I'm not going to call it a title shot. I'm calling it a title fight because I'm not going to take a shot at it. I'm going to take the title when I go fight for it.
How you doing? Jeremy Loper, WRKZ Media. Dana, with the attendance tonight, which was pretty awesome in my opinion, do you consider doing more events here in Ohio, maybe the Columbus area?
I wouldn't say that the attendance tonight was awesome. You know, we haven't been here in 7 years. You know, I thought it would be better than it was, but I think, I honestly and truly think that Matt Brown changed that tonight. Like I said, I think that this was Rich Franklin's town when we came here today. I think it's Matt Brown's town now. So I think that if we come back here with Brown, I think it'll be a lot. There'll be a lot more people here.
I'm also enjoying Fight Pass, and I think, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Fight Pass, some positive, some negative. Is there any thought to going deeper, like into the lives of the fighters, like maybe showcasing more behind the scenes, sort of like Tough, but, you know, just really getting into the camp? And because, you know, what a great platform to show really in-depth interviews.
Well, thank you. Fight Pass is evolving. It's just going to get better and better and better. We actually have a whole list of programming that's going to start to go on there. You know, it takes time. Things are work in progress. But yeah, it's people who have it now love it. It definitely not perfect, and it's going to have its issues, and we will jump right on them and fix them. But it's only going to get better and better and better. But thank you.
Jason Hoffman, Cincinnati Enquirer. Dana, besides the lackluster turnout, can you just speak to what the city was like in the couple days you were here, what you thought of the environment around here?
What did I think about the city?
Yeah.
Awesome. I had a blast here. I had a very good time here. This is a great city, very fun, and yeah, we'll be back. I mean, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this because of tonight. Tonight in this town, Cincinnati was riding on Matt Brown. It really was. You know, I said it. I think he became a big star tonight. I think this is his town now, and you know, we can do a big fight here with him again.
And Matt, I interviewed you in March, and you said that this was just going to be another fight week for you. Hindsight now, do you still say the same, or do you look back on it as being different than you thought originally?
No, this is exactly what I said when. You know, I don't remember you asking that question because I was asked that question 8 million times, but. You know, it was exactly like I answered it every time. I said, before the fight, it's always just another fight. I come to the hotel. I don't, you know, go to my house or anything. I come to the hotel, do it just like normal, like any other fight. And then looking back right now, and Dana's here to tell me this is my town, things like that, of course, that blows me away, you know. So hindsight is always when, you know, you see how awesome it really was.
This is for Darren. After a good victory, especially with someone as dangerous as Eric, what do you want to see next for yourself in competition?
Well, as far as who I want to fight, I don't know. I don't watch enough tape on the guys in my class. I worry about myself. So whoever Dana and the matchmakers want me to fight is who I'm going to.
And then for Chris, with the split decision, I mean, it was really close, but this puts you on a 3-fight win streak. Just tell us how you kind of felt going into that third round and after the fight. Were you confident that you were going to pull away with the victory?
Yeah, coming into that third round, I definitely felt like I was 2 rounds ahead, and I didn't see it as a split decision, going into that third round. And, I kind of felt like I even, I might have gave him that third round, on my card personally, but, I didn't see it as a split decision, but moving forward, puts me at 3 wins in a row in the flyweight division. And, I want to fight, pretty much anyone in the top 5 of my division, and I think a good fight would be like winner of that Uncle Creepy and Piggott fight. So, I think one of those matchups would be great for me, and, and that would put me one step closer to that belt.
Gotcha. And then last one for Dana. Where do you kind of see Darren and Chris in their respective divisions?
I don't disagree with what he said, and I told Cruikshank earlier. I mean, Cruikshank is one of these kids that Joe Silva doesn't like a lot of guys. Joe Silva really likes him and thinks that if he lets his hands go and his feet go, that he has all the talent in the world, and he really thinks that he has a bright future here. And tonight was a big test for him. I have a lot of respect for Coke. He's a tough kid. He's a finisher. He comes in to take you out, and he beat him tonight. I think that tonight was a big test, and it's time to bump him up a little bit and test him again in his next fight.
For Soa, please, can you just take us through the finish of that, because we don't see a lot of guys get knocked out from your knees like that. That was impressive.
Well, basically, my last 11 fights have been knockouts, and my ground and pound is, if I get on top of you, you're not going anywhere, and I can finish from on top. But yeah, it's one of those. It's always good to get a win like that, and on that, I want to thank Joe Silva and Dana White for giving me a second chance in the UFC, because I was really pushing to get back in the UFC, and now I'm here, and I know I deserve to be here. So I've just got to keep learning, keep pushing, and keep climbing up the ranks.
It seemed like he made you work a little bit for it. I don't know that you were necessarily in trouble, but would you say that you were in trouble?
Oh, he had like when I took him down the first time, I was relaxed, so I was just waiting for him to kind of let go, and then he overturned me, so we got back up, and I took him down again. So. And then I tried to push him into the cage, just to use the cage for my advantage. And then as soon as I passed it and went mount, and I hit him the first time with the left, and I seen he was out, so I kind of stopped and then kept going. And then that was it.
Obviously your division is one where guys can kind of make a run fairly quickly a lot of times. You've made a lot of noise with 11 straight wins and 11 straight knockouts and 3 straight here in the UFC. Where do you feel like that puts you, and then how fast do you want to get back in there, since you didn't seem to take much damage?
Oh, we'll see what happens with my management team, Paradigm and Joe Silva. So whoever they want me to fight, then I'll fight. So I'm here to stay for not for today, but for a long time. I deserve to be here, as long, same as these other guys here. So we're in the best organization in the world. So.
And Darren, can you obviously you have this thing now for kicking dudes in the head. And walking away with your hand raised, yet you were overlooked by just about everybody this whole week. Can you talk a little bit about that? And obviously this is probably your biggest test in the UFC so far. You keep getting higher level caliber opponents, and made a big statement.
It was my biggest fight, my biggest test, I guess you say. But I don't listen to the media and what they say, and
That's right. He doesn't listen to you guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Especially you. But, like I said before, I worry about myself. That's all that matters. And if that's selfish, then, oh well. But, I just concentrate on my training and make sure I'm on point when the fight comes up.
Darren, a quick follow-up for you. You landed a head kick. He dropped face first. You were nailing him pretty hard. A lot of people were saying it probably should have been stopped a little earlier. What were you thinking in there? It seemed like he maybe took a few too many shots.
You know, these referees, they're professionals, and this is what they do for a living. So, you know, I trust their opinion. They're there for our safety, and Eric's a tough dude, so you got to gauge the fighter, too, about how much he can take. Yeah, he dropped fast, and I had to finish up with some elbows, but, you know, I feel like it was a good call by the ref.
And a follow-up for Matt. You know, you can't really feel it before the fight. You got to focus on the fight. But do you feel that kind of transcendence you had in this fight, that kind of crossing over? The crowd was rising and falling with every one of your punches. I mean, could you hear that? Did you feel it maybe after the fight?
I honestly didn't really notice it too much. I think when they were falling, I assumed that was probably when I was almost being finished by a kick in the stomach. So I was kind of focused on that. But during the up times, I mean, I guess my adrenaline was just so high. I didn't hear the crowd at all today. Normally I do hear it pretty well, but I didn't hear a single thing today.
I'm surprised you couldn't hear your mom. I heard her.
I mean, considering what, you know, because I know we've talked before about, you know, fighting at home, fighting in Columbus, fighting in Cincinnati. Hearing Dana say that, you know, Rich Franklin, obviously big star. I know you respect him, you train with him, but to hear that kind of passing of the torch, that this is now your town, I mean, what does that mean to you as a fighter, considering how much work you had to get here?
Man, I remember the first time I met Rich Franklin, like, I was scared to even talk to him, you know what I mean? So, like, for something, you know, something like that to be said is, I can't even describe it with words at all. I mean, it just means so much to me.
And Dana, for you real quick, I know it's heat of the moment, you know, you kind of get caught up in it, but where does that first round with Silva and Brown rank? I mean, Diaz-Daly was pretty amazing. There's a couple like that, but where do you put that?
Yeah, it's up there with all the greatest. I mean, that's one of the best first rounds you will ever see. There's nothing better than a first round where both guys are hurt and the fight is going back and forth. And I just can't express enough to people who have never been hit to the body. You know, most of the people who sit home on their couches and watch these fights and a fight ends with a body shot, people go, oh my God, he got beat with a body shot. And he and I were talking about it back there. He says, I would take 1,000 headshots before I want to take one of those type of body shots. And it's just unexplainable until you know what it's like to be hit like that. And not only did he do it once, Kenny Florian said he got hit 7 times with bad body shots. I don't know if that's the accurate real number, but that's crazy. He ate them like a stud, man. Those are tough. Those are tough to overcome. You see it. I mean, there's been the last, I don't know, 10 shows have probably had 3 of those knockouts to the body like that. And Eric Silva, oh my God. I'm just, you know how hard Matt Brown hits. You know what Matt Brown does to people, and Eric Silva took every inch of it. Unbelievable.
My question is for Sor. You spoke about second chance in UFC, about you changing some things during the last year. Could you talk about significant changes that you made in your training, maybe in your really in your life?
Oh, just keeping busy and keep pushing. So once I got back into the UFC, obviously I had a bit of a with my fight against in Milwaukee when I fought with a broken rib, but you know I just didn't want to pull out of the fight. So, but then I had to prove myself back to prove myself with the Pat Barry fight and this fight, obviously, and you know and to get a second chance at the UFC is like So we just got on Twitter and I told everyone, started harassing Dana White. So just to get me back in the UFC, but. I mean, once I'm in the UFC, I know that I deserve to be here with other heavyweights, and that's so. And I've got a good sparring partner, Mark Hunt. So no one's going to hit harder than him. So, I'm in a everything's good with my training and stuff and camps and stuff like that. So.
And the next one is for Kostas. You speak about that this win motivates you to fight, but what besides winning tonight motivates you to continue be on UFC stage?
I finally found what I was missing the past year, because I felt I lost the will to fight. I didn't want to diet. I didn't want to go to the gym. My new gym, my new training partners, my new coaches, everything came together this time, and it just I feel like I'm reborn again, and I can't wait to go back and take maybe tomorrow off, and on Monday we go back to the gym, and can't wait to go train again.
Just one last quick question to Matt, especially with the bonuses that you got tonight, and with today officially being Mother's Day. I think that there's a couple ladies in the front row that's just wondering on if they're going to get any gifts.
Mama's getting paid.
Yeah.
I told him I would ask him that.
I think that kind of goes without saying, right? Mom's gonna get hooked up. Both the moms are getting hooked up. Yeah, she got one. Yeah.
You got anybody else have any questions? Thanks for your support, everybody. We appreciate you. Have a great night.